You spend your entire life building a fortress to protect yourself from pain, convinced that this armor makes you safe and strong. But you have built a prison cell that has locked you in. I'm Oliver. Today, we are going to have a conversation about the single most destructive lie ever told to men. It is a lie that has shaped your father, your grandfather, and likely you. It's the invisible script that dictates how you handle pain, how you love, and how you lead. Let's be honest with each other for a moment. If I asked you to describe a strong man, what image comes to mind? For most of us, it's a specific archetype. It's the father who works himself to the bone and never complains. It is a man who is an island, unshakable, emotionless, and entirely self-reliant. From the time we are barely old enough to walk, this programming is installed in our hardware. We are taught that emotions are a liability. We are taught that fear, sadness, and doubt are cracks in the armor, and if you show them, you will be rejected. You will be seen as less than. So, what do? We adapt. We are smart. We learn to split ourselves in two. There is the real self, the one who feels, hurts, hopes, and fears. And then there is the representative, the mask we wear for the world. For a while, this strategy works. But here is the problem with wearing a suit of armor 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, for 30 years. It gets heavy. It creates a crushing weight that eventually suffocates the person inside. The psychological cost of this stoic performance is devastating. It is not a neutral act to suppress an emotion. When you feel grief or fear and you shove it down into the basement of your subconscious, it doesn't vanish. It changes form. Let's look at the 3 specific ways this be a man lie is destroying your life right now. The first cost, the solitary confinement of the soul. The first price you pay for this fake strength is profound, aching loneliness. I am talking about the kind of loneliness you feel when you are sitting at a dinner table surrounded by your family or lying in bed next to your wife. Why does this happen? It's simple physics. Intimacy, real connection with another human being, requires a bridge. That bridge is built out of shared experience. If you only present your representative to the people who love you, then they don't actually love you. They love the mask. They love the armor. They love the performance. That is a terrifying place to be. You become a ghost in your own life. You are seen by everyone, but known by no one. This isolation is devastating. It is the primary driver of depression in men. The second cost, the sabotage of love. This is where the tragedy hits hardest. A man loves his partner deeply. He provides for her. But emotionally, he is a fortress with the drawbridge pulled up. When life gets hard, when the business is failing, or you're worried about your health, your be a man programming kicks in. It tells you, don't burden her. You think you are protecting her from your stress. But she sees a wall. She asks, what's wrong? And you say, nothing. She feels the coldness radiating off you. To a woman who loves you, your withdrawal feels like rejection. It triggers her anxiety. So, she pushes. You feel attacked. You feel like she's disrespecting your need for space. So, you retreat further. You get angry. And there it is. The cycle of destruction. You are pulling away to protect her from your weakness. And in doing so, you are destroying the intimacy you are trying to save. You are withholding the one thing she wants most, your reality. The third cost, the glass ceiling on your potential. There is a myth that you need to be an emotionless robot to succeed in business or life. It is fatal today. Every time you suppress an emotion, you have to monitor your face, your tone, your words. This refusal to show weakness prevents you from learning. If you cannot admit you made a mistake, you cannot fix it. The most successful men are surprisingly open about their deficits. The man who has to pretend he is perfect is the most fragile man. The man who owns his flaws is anti-fragile. You can't break him because he isn't hiding anything. Breaking the cycle, the new definition of strength. But how do we get out? It feels dangerous. We feel like we are betraying the code of our fathers. I am asking you to practice strategic authenticity. I am asking you to realize that true masculinity is not the absence of fear, but the mastery of it. And you cannot master what you do not acknowledge. Here is your roadmap out of the cage. 3 steps to reclaim your power. Step 1. The internal audit. You cannot communicate what you do not understand. Most men are emotionally illiterate, not because they are stupid, but because they never learned the language. We have 2 settings: I'm good and I'm pissed off. That's it. I want you to try something radical. Every night before you sleep, take 2 minutes. Close your eyes and run a diagnostic scan on your system. Ask yourself, what is actually happening inside me right now? Don't judge it. Just name it. Why does this matter? When you put a label on an emotion, you literally gain control over the feeling just by acknowledging it. This is tactical. This is knowing your own machinery. Step 2. The 1% rule. You don't need to tear down the whole wall at once. You just need to open a window. I want you to identify one person in your life who has earned the right to hear your truth. Your wife, a brother, a mentor, a therapist. With this person, I want you to practice the 1% rule. Reveal just 1% more than you normally would. If your wife asks, "How was work?" try saying, "It was brutal. I feel like I'm spinning my wheels on this project." You just gave her a gift. You gave her a piece of your reality. You trusted her. Over time, you realize that the connection you get from being real is infinitely more satisfying than the safety you get from being fake. Step 3. Reframe vulnerability as tactical courage. We have been brainwashed to believe that vulnerability sacks weakness. That is a lie. If you are hiding your feelings because you are afraid of what people will think, is that brave? No. That is fear. That is cowardice disguised as strength. Vulnerability is the ultimate power move. When you stop defending your ego, you become untouchable. If you own your flaws, nobody can use them against you. You disarm the world by disarming yourself. A note for the partners listening. If your man tries this, if he drops the shield even for a second, you hold the keys to the kingdom. If he admits a fear or a doubt and you judge him, he will lock that door and throw away the key. He is terrified that his weakness will make you leave. You have to prove him wrong. When he opens up, do not offer solutions. Just offer presence. That is how you get the husband you've always wanted. The be a man lie promised us we would be kings, but it turned us into statues. But nature teaches us something important. The mighty oak tree that refuses to bend eventually snaps in the storm. But the bamboo? It sways. It feels the wind. And because it is flexible, it survives everything. You do not have to carry the weight of the world alone anymore. The cage is unlocked. You just have to push the door open. What is one thing you have been carrying alone that you are ready to put down? Share in the comments. Let's start the real conversation right there. If this resonated with you, and you are ready to build a life of authentic power rather than fake toughness, hit that subscribe button.